Thank you, Jim. As you might know, my gracious and charming wife returned from Florida, so we have to self-isolate for 14 days as a precaution. So I'm not there. Are there any changes to the tentative agenda? I I will do that. Uh, Meet with department heads and elected officials. Terry Johnson, Des Moines County Auditor.
I just got a text from the guys upstairs and they said the same thing.
And Lori said, I assume Terry is speaking.
I'll be sending Lori a news release. Oh,
We getting the sound straightened out?
I believe so.
Okay. We ready to continue?
One moment,
he's-
I'm having the guys, I made a change here. I'm having the guys test it upstairs.
No problem.
Test 1, 2, 3. Okay. They said they can hear us now, so.
Okay. Okay, Tom.
Okay. Colin Gerst, IT.
Nothing really new to report. Just dealing with some live streaming issues, and that's about it. So nothing other to report.
Okay, thank you, Colin. I believe I've got a list on my phone here of the everybody that's logged on. So I will go through this. If I miss anybody, Colin, please let me know.
We'll do.
Rodney Bleesner, maintenance.
Got a lot going on, trying to do a lot of different things to get ready, prepared to open back up. But other than that, I have nothing new to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Rodney. Brian Carter, secondary roads.
Good morning. We've got a lot going on too. North Gear, they poured a little more concrete yesterday. Haven't done any more main line yet. Hopefully next week. Iowa City Road, we did pave main line yesterday again. So we've got a little over a mile of concrete down, and they're doing some hand pours today. And hopefully main line on Thursday again if the weather allows, and if they get the cure time on what they already did. We're going to do a little bit of dust control on some routes being used by traffic that's not using the paved detour. So that's going to happen this morning. And then on the dust control note, next week, a large portion of the county dust control will get done also. Meeple Bridges, they drove piling on the east abutment of the East Bridge yesterday, and they're going to start forming up in abutments and should be driving more piling next week, I would guess. And want to mention also Hartman Road took a beating there because of the airport project. The guys worked on that and hauled some more rock. Manats paid for some rock last week, and so the southern end, which was the worst, is shaped up pretty good now. So we're going to give it a little more time and then cap that off with the final layer of rock, and it should be wrapped up down there. So plenty of other stuff going on, but do you guys have any questions?
No, nope. Not at all, Brian.
Oh, and I guess we have a bid opening this week, a couple bid openings that I'll be with Terry on, and then another one next week. So that's coming up too.
I appreciate, Brian, if you'd, are those bid openings on YouTube, or you could text me the results?
They're on YouTube, Tom. We have I tell you what, we've got an email with the website and stuff on it. So I'll send it to you, and I can also text you if you don't have time to watch it.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
Chris Lee, conservation.
Good morning. Our parks have been real busy. It's helped a lot that apparently the crappie are biting amazingly well up at Big Hollow. I've heard reports of 50 plus vehicles and boat trailers being up there on any given morning. So is the time. I hear people are starting to find mushrooms too, so that's exciting. Project wise, we have our FEMA projects going on. The contractors should be wrapping up today at Stars Cave with the silt removal that they've been doing. They thought they would get that done today. It might be tomorrow, but and then we'll do kind of final cleanup, and we'll have that segment of trail there just right back from the nature center. We'll have that reopened to the public because I know that's one of the most popular areas that we have people using trails. And then our contractor should be starting work maybe even today down at Welter, down along the Skunk River at our Maple Loop campground, doing the FEMA work down there. And then, as we know, the closures have now been extended through May 15th, so our campgrounds will stay closed at least through the middle of May. Other than that, we have an agenda item coming up here in a little bit.
Thank you, Chris. Terry, I got a text from Leah Anderson from the Hawkeye, and she wasn't able to hear you. That was before I think they fixed the audio. Can you go through that election information again?
Well, I'll try. I don't think I'll be able to do it word for word, but yes. I plan on sending out a news release, but it's just basically to let everybody know that beginning Monday, May the 4th, in-person absentee voting is supposed to start here at the courthouse. However, since we are still closed, we will be doing in-person voting by appointment only, and it will be conducted curbside. So, like I stated before, I've been working with Rodney and trying to get 2 of the parking places down in the south parking lot reserved for curbside voting. And anybody that needs to vote curbside, they will have to call us and make an appointment so that we know that they're coming, because we'll have to go through the check-in process prior to them getting here to make sure that we have the correct information and that they're registered and everything. So we'll be working on that. Bob had asked about absentee ballots, when they have to be sent back. They have to be postmarked at the latest by June the 1st, but we will also have drop boxes here at the courthouse so that if anybody doesn't want to mail it back, they can drop it off in the drop boxes and we will receive it that way. And what else am I missing?
We talked about the 2 precincts.
Oh, yes, Bob asked about what precincts are open, and we will just have 2 precincts open on election day. And we will be practicing the social distancing and cleaning and everything else, but the south half of the county, which is the city of Burlington, Danville, and West Burlington, and Precinct Union, will all be voting at the Hall of Science building at SEC. And because they have graciously allowed us to use that building, and we can stretch everybody pretty well out in that location and have several check-ins. But like I said, we'll be practicing the social distancing. And then the north half of the county, which is Precinct PW, Precinct MY, and Precinct HJ, will all be going to Mediapolis City Hall. So those are the 2 precincts that we will have open on election day, but we are still greatly encouraging everybody to vote absentee by mail. And that was another thing, is the Secretary of State's office has mailed out absentee request forms to every active registered voter, and those should start showing up in the mailboxes this Wednesday. And so far, we've gotten 160 absentee ballots that we have mailed out.
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
Ken Heinman, Community Services.
Ken's not very loud.
It says he's on there. He's unmuted.
I can't hear you, Ken. I don't think the board can hear you.
Don't hear him at all. Don't hear him at all. It says he's speaking.
Yeah. Ken,
Can you hear him?
no, I cannot hear him. Ken, I'm going to come back to you. Jared Lassiter, land use.
Good morning. For land use, hasn't been a pretty active week overall. I think we've had a few inquiries. Can you hear me, by the way? Okay.
We can, or I can.
Okay, good. There was one property where there was a land auction in the 2 mile zoning area. So I did have a number of inquiries specifically related to that. Yeah.
Hold on a second. I got a text from Leah. She can't hear. I'll get back to you in a minute, Jared.
Okay.
How are we on sound, Colin? Audio.
I'm pretty confident that everything's working.
Okay. Jared, you want to continue?
Yes. In terms of land use for this past week, we did have like I said, there were some inquiries related to this land auction that's in the 2 mile. That was, I believe, on Friday. So there were a number of questions about that. A few other new inquiries, but Nothing else significant. We will have a couple of subdivisions that should be submitted for review fairly soon. Apart from that, I don't have anything to report today.
Just a minute here. Hey, Tom,
Thank you, Jared. Yeah, Jim.
I got Ken on the phone. Do you want to try him again real quick?
Okay, sure.
Again real quick.
Ken Hyman, Community Services.
Okay, how do you want to do that? You want him on the phone or?
If
You might,
him on the,
you might just try to next session.
He wants you to try to Colin wants you to try to reconnect.
And if it's not working, just have him call my office upstairs. They'll get him connected.
And if it's not working, call his office up there and they'll work on it. Okay? Yeah, bye.
Jackie Meyer, Clerk of Court.
Morning, can you hear me? Good morning, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't have a whole lot new to report. We're just still alternating my staff in the office one week and out the next. We're still providing court services, no in-person hearings unless they're on an emergency type basis. So that's all I really have to report.
Thank you. Janelle Nally-Longquist, Des Moines County Treasurer.
Good morning. I guess I do have a little bit of new stuff to report. With Monday's or yesterday's proclamation, the suspension of interest on the March installment of property taxes was extended through May 27th. So essentially, again, any March payments that are made from now through May 27th will not be assessed any interest. Still considered delinquent, but without interest. And then Friday's proclamation, she had some new provisions that affected our office that were also extended in yesterday's proclamation, which included suspending the code sections that require county treasurers to mail delinquent notices, and then the publication of the delinquency and notice of tax sale. So she suspended those two requirements of the Iowa Code. And then also she, in the governor's proclamation, the suspension of the actual tax sale was part of that proclamation that's normally held on the third Monday in June annually each year for each of our 99 counties. And the other extension in yesterday's proclamation would be for vehicle registrations. Those are still, that's being extended through the 27th, as well as title transfers. The provision requiring title transfers to be done within 30 days has been extended through the 27th as well. Although we're processing many registrations and title transfers here in the office by mail or the Dropbox. So we just continue to be busy processing that and answering phones and emails and processing online transactions. But that would be all I have to report for today.
Thank you, Janelle.
You're welcome.
Lisa Schaefer, Des Moines County Attorney.
Good morning, everyone. Not a lot to report. The recent proclamations from the governor haven't really affected the courts at all, since we are operating under the Supreme Court's ruling orders, not necessarily the governor's in the same respect. So we're using our time valuably. Thank you to Rodney and his crew, who have been diligently supplying us with files from the basement so that they can be cleaned out and determined what really needed to be saved. My understanding, approximately 50 to 60% of the files that were in the basement really did not need to be saved. And so we've been in the process of sorting through those and throwing out what isn't really necessary. I think the plan is to then start going through the ones that are out at CPC and then get everything reorganized and keep them all in one general location. But we do have a new policy on destruction of files, which means we will not be producing nearly as much paper for storage. Obviously, our goal toward the fall is to get on Carpel, which will be our cloud-based judicial management system. And the goal is to start to go paperless by the end of the year. So we'll start producing a lot less paper. Right now, the attorneys are really just getting ready for trials that'll be taking place in July, including some depositions and some things that can't be necessarily postponed any longer. We have an officer who's getting ready to deploy, who unfortunately has about 30 cases that he is the primary officer on. So we're going to be conducting some evidence depositions so we can use those in lieu of his in-person testimony at trial. May have noticed the weather is warmer, so we have had an uptick in shootings. Fortunately, at this time, AIM has been off, so they've just been shootings with some fairly minor injuries, relatively speaking, but we're planning for a long, hot summer.
Wonderful.
Lisa?
Yeah.
When you put all your files electronically, what do you have for backup? Anything?
For our new system or for the ones we're getting rid of?
The new system.
It's a cloud-based system, so the cloud itself will be our backup.
Okay. All right.
It also gives the advantage that we can work from anywhere. Right now, we've had to jump through a lot of hoops to use our data management system for the attorneys that are working from home. But once we have the cloud-based system, it's basically just logging in like we do to EDMS. So there's no excuse for not working from anywhere.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. Angie Vaughn, safety.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. I really don't have a whole lot at this time. I am keeping busy, but kind of learning a new normal. With everything going on with COVID, I will announce that here in Des Moines County and even nationwide, we are seeing a big decrease in incidents and accidents. So I guess there's some positive to the whole thing in the long run. So, but that's really about all I've got to report right now.
Thank you, Angie. Zach James, also land use.
Somebody holler at him.
This is Jared. I think Zach had said he was on a phone call also.
Okay. Thank you, Jared. Is there anything else? I've saved Krista and Gina for the end to try to meld that in with the COVID-19 date. Did I miss anybody else? Ken, are you there now? Ken Heineman, Community Service.
The guys upstairs told me that they were on the phone with him, so I'm not sure if he's ready yet, Tom.
Okay. Krista Pogamiller, Public Health.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, we continue at Public Health to be busy. We currently have 17 cases of COVID in our county. So we're continuing our investigation and contact investigations. So, and working with local partners here to try to mitigate the COVID. The new proclamation came out yesterday, and I know there was a little confusion for faith-based organizations, and we did get some clarification on that. And they are able to start as of May 1st to have faith-based organization events. But again, they have to watch the social distancing and the hygiene. Other than that, our county remains the same till May 15th, and then hopefully maybe we can move into the next opening up a little more.
Thank you, Krista. I hope so too.
Thank you.
Gina Harden, Emergency Management.
Good morning. As follow-up with Krista's COVID response, We did submit the paperwork for the non-congregate sheltering to Iowa Homeland Security and Emergency Management. So hopefully FEMA will approve that request so that we can help out with the funding for those that have been in non-congregate housing. So time will tell on that. I'm not sure how long that will take for that to have, for them to get back to us on a response, but I will keep you posted. We are placing regular orders for personal protective equipment and have been very successful here lately on receiving most of what we are asking for to help out our nursing homes, care centers, and et cetera. And then on regular emergency management business, we are below flood stage on the Mississippi River. Yay. I know a lot of people will be happy about that besides me. So hopefully that will continue to go down. And then I'm not sure, I know Jared said Zach was on another line, but I know regional planning is working on our hazard mitigation plan. They've sent out the request to look at the capabilities and strategies and the critical facilities, emailed to various entities and individuals basically in the county and ask them to respond and look at that to see if those are still applicable, if we're missing anything, any changes need to be made to that, et cetera. Our goal is to still get that plan done by the deadline. I'm not sure if the state and FEMA will extend the deadline for the grant because it is a grant that I believe was already extended once. So, and Zach was checking on that to give us a little bit more time to review that and get that plan in place. So that's all I had.
This is Jared. I can vouch for that. I've been working with Zach on that plan update. So we've been getting some feedback back from different communities, school districts, people that have been reviewing those critical facilities for our analysis. So we'll be we've been updating most of the data and background information in the plan, and in the next couple of weeks here we'll be finalizing the information that we've received as part of that review, and hopefully getting that plan ready for review by FEMA within the next couple of weeks.
That's great, Jared. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Gina.
You're welcome.
Ken Heinman, Community Services. I'll try one last time.
Yeah, can you hear me now? I'm on the phone.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. We with the Seal region, we have 4 more contract meetings this week over the Zoom, and so we're going to have 4 more of those renewal of contract meetings. The other thing is the region's noticing a number of our 8 counties. The property tax dollars are coming in slower than what we normally get them in. So like Des Moines County, we have made 2 payments to the region for services of $374,000 each. And we have 1 final payment to make to the region for the services side of $374,294. And we've been told to hold off on that 3rd payment until we have 6 months worth of expenditures in addition to that payment, so that we'll have enough to cover all the administrative expenses. So the region's kind of watching those property tax dollars as they come in, and they said, let's wait until June and then make our final payments. So that's all I have to report right now.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Is there any correspondence? Is there any correspondence there, gentlemen?
No.
But just one, I had a guy call and ask about a tax that Des Moines County was charging. And he had a bill, he got something someplace in the county, and they charged him an extra 32 or 34 cents. And I don't have any idea, so I thought I'd ask all you guys.
Was that just the 1-cent sales tax?
Yeah.
You just now noticed it on there.
That would have been-
That's all it'd be unless.
Surely was in addition to that.
With a local tax,
Yeah,
do they used to, or once in a while, they break out, the state sales tax, they have the 1%, local option sales tax. They might break that out some places.
well, I've never seen it,
I haven't ever either. So.
except for on my utility bill, maybe.
Yeah, cell bill, they usually split out.
They pulled out on them type of bills, but.
That would be the only thing I could think of, is if they broke out that 1% local option sales tax. But that's not a county tax, or that's a state tax. So, yeah,
We don't have.
not aware.
We don't have county taxes, so.
Going to mail you the receipt.
I'll give him a call.
Okay. Okay, we'll proceed to discussion and vote. We need to open a public hearing for the fiscal 20 budget amendment.
Move to open the meeting.
Second?
Terry?
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Is there any public comment? Or Terry, have you received any emails regarding the fiscal 20 budget amendment?
No, I have not received any calls, emails, or anything. Nothing written, so I have not received anything.
Okay. Jim, if you want a time, if anyone wants to make a comment regarding the fiscal 20 budget amendment, we will wait 2 minutes for someone to call or email.
Okay. We're on the clock.
Thank you.
In the meantime, how's everything in Florida?
Well, I wasn't down there, but apparently they're getting along fine.
Good. Was the plane full?
She said there were 11 people on the plane.
11 people. Wow.
Lots of legroom.
Yeah. The
Well, I know the trains that run by my house are 6 cars instead of 8 or 9.
Yeah. On that Amtrak,
Yeah.
I've noticed that.
I had become lax in some of my standards while my wife was gone, and she's corrected that. I no longer can drink chocolate milk out of the carton.
You animal, you.
A couple other small changes, but I'll get back to them. Is Cheryl there?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Do you want me to go over this, Tom?
Sure.
Okay. We had 6 departments request budget amendments. The first one was the Sheriff's Department for $13,500 for labor relation expenses, body armor, external vests, and duty pouches. General relief was $43,245. That was for FICA, IFRS, group insurance, and substance abuse treatment. Those dollars were requested in the original budget, but did not make it to the final budget. So I'll take the blame for that one. So we're just trying to put that back in where it belongs. Medical examiner, $31,000. That's for autopsy, medical examiner fees, and funeral home charges. We've seen an increase in expenses due to having to take the bodies to Ankeny, so that's part of it. Conservation is requested $17,524, $9,066. That will be covered by a grant. All of the funds will be paid out of their conservation reserve fund. Road clearing is asking for $7,885 for herbicides. They're gonna go over budget a little, that's why they're requesting this. They had an invoice that they paid early on in the year, and, I think it was just missed that they'd already spent some of that money, so they're asking for a little extra this year. The auditor is asking for $41,800, that's for clerk's salary, and she had a retirement, so that's for the payout on that, and group insurance. And most of that's due to her adding an additional person in the office to get us back up to the number we were at. So the grand total is $154,954.
I move to go out of public hearing.
Second?
Terry?
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We need a motion to approve the fiscal 20 budget amendment.
So moved?
Second.
Terry?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. And we need to open a public hearing for the sale of mineral rights to U.S. Gypsum.
Move to open public hearing for mineral rights sale.
Second?
Terry?
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Chris Lee, do you want to address this?
Okay. Yeah, so this is basically exactly the same as the last time we sold mineral rights to USG. It's just under a different parcel of the park, actually immediately adjacent to the parcel from before. It's a little bit larger parcel, so the dollars are a little bit different, but otherwise the agreement is all the same. It has been reviewed by the attorneys, has gone through all of the due diligence process, and this is the last leg of it now to bring it to you guys. Same process as what we did before. I believe we have John Blazik from USG on the line, or at least he was supposed to be, and I suppose he can answer any questions you have as far as specifics and USG's side of things.
I don't have any questions. Remember the last time you took care of my question. You gentlemen have any questions?
No, not at all.
Terry, did you receive any calls or emails concerning this sale?
No, I have not.
Jim, do you want to give 2 minutes and we will wait for anybody that would like to comment? Like
Do that right now.
this sale?
Cheryl, we don't stamp these here. We stamp the others there, right?
Terry, if whatever you need my signature on, I can stop down there later this afternoon. Kathy brought some stuff outside yesterday and set it on the steps, and then I'd go get it and sign it, and I can do that. So if whatever you need my signatures on, just let me know and I'll come down there and get those signed.
Okay, we'll set up the same process again then.
Yep, without exposing anybody.
So is USG open and running, or are they shut down for the virus?
Good morning, this is John. Yes, we are still running based on business demand.
Good.
Good.
Evidently, the gypsum doesn't cause as much trouble as the pigs, huh?
Time's up. Been 2 minutes, Tom.
Okay. Need a motion to close the public hearing.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Terry?
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We need a motion to approve the sale.
Move to approve the sale of the mineral rights to the U.S. Gypsum.
Second.
Terry?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We have 2 personnel actions. We have 1 personnel action for the correctional center. We have John High, a part-time correctional officer, a new hire at $17.38 an hour.
Move to approve.
Second.
Terry?
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We have a personnel action from local health. Ari Kramer, secretary, unpaid leave, 21.92 hours for the pay period of April 5th through April 19th.
Move to approve.
Second.
Terry?
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. We have the clerk's report of fees collected for March 2020. That report will be on file at the auditor's office and available for review. I'm sure that can be put online or emailed out, right, Terry?
Yes, if anybody requests.
If anybody requests that. We have minutes for the regular meeting of April 21st, 2020.
Move to approve.
Second.
Terry?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Bob Beck,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes. Any other business? Future agenda item,
Have none.
None.
committee reports.
Have none.
None.
We've had the daily emergency operations center meetings with local officials and first responders and the director of public health and the emergency management director. And Des Moines County seems to be doing very well. And I went, or didn't go to, they had my last meeting for the Mental Health and Disability Services Commission. I've timed out. You can only be on that for 6 years. So I've served out my 2 3-year terms. They sent me an email that said they were going to appoint me again. So I called them and I said, "You're only supposed to get 2 terms." I said, "Is that okay?" And so they called back, or they emailed me back and they said, "Our mistake." They said, "Ignore that." So that'll save me a trip to Des Moines a month. Public input.
Tom, I guess I did have a couple meetings.
Uh-huh.
I did have a couple meetings. Things are kind of sitting at home there, and going on these Zoom meetings. It just doesn't seem like you have a meeting. But I had a community action meeting, and everything going okay there. They're working on getting the new core school opened up over there and getting some of that early childhood stuff over there. And they had a new officer thing, so I guess I'm going to be the treasurer this coming year.
Congratulations.
And well, I don't know if that's good or bad, but so and then I did have early childhood. We're going over the RFPs for that, so I'll keep you informed on that when that happens. And that's it.
Thank you, Jim. So, public input. If anybody from the public would like to address the board, we will give you 2 minutes to either call in or email any comments or questions you might have. Jim, you got the timer.
Yep. Two-minutes seems like a long time when you're waiting.
Yeah, if you're looking at the clock, it's a long time.
So Bob, it sounds like the pork producers might be working with, some of the food banks and stuff. So are they gonna go to like local?
I'm glad I'm out of that business.
Yeah.
Did you happen to read that article that Tyson, President Tyson said about the food shortage? With all these plants closing around, you know, there might be I don't know if he's trying to put a scare tactic in there or if it's, you know, so.
Be a little hard on Columbus Junction if they
Yeah.
shut that down.
Yeah.
That'd be hard on the farmers around too, the pork producers.
Trying to get us to eat our vegetables, apparently.
You a vegetarian?
Or, yeah.
Try to eat our vegetables.
That's gonna be the excuse you give the kids.
You gotta go out and plant a garden this year.
Yeah.
That's too late to put potatoes in. You're supposed to have them in on Good Friday.
Potatoes in.
I saw where Mayo Clinic is either is laying off, furloughing, or cutting the wages of 30,000 employees.
Wow.
Holy mackerel. All those beds they needed for the virus.
So much for models.
Yeah.
Said there's a hospital down in Louisiana. It's on the national news. It said they're losing $13 million a year, and they've already going to exceed that during this pandemic. So
They're I wouldn't be surprised if they moved from rural hospitals.
yeah,
Maybe more than a few.
time's up, Tom.
Okay, with an eye, we're adjourned.
Aye.
You all have a nice day.